Hi, I'm Vabren with Psychiatric News. We just finished listening to various speakers speak at the OMNA event on the Transcendence and Resilience Following Trauma, 50 years after the 16th Street Baptist Church. One of our speakers today was Dr. Kenneth Thompson, Professor of Psychiatry at the University of Pittsburgh. Hi, Dr. Thompson.
Hi, how are you?
Dr. Thompson, you talked about healing during the 16th Street Baptist, the Civil Rights Movement. How does your current work relate to the trauma that was associated with the 16th Street Baptist bombing?
Well, I guess it's my current work informs how I think about what must have happened back then. I've done a lot of work over the years with a variety of mass casualty disasters, and worked with a lot of people who've been victims of violence of various kinds. And I guess how I'm informed by it is understanding the critical nature of healing from the kind of trauma that this community and the families experienced on the psychiatric side. Obviously the tragedy and the politics and the work of the movement to secure basic rights for African Americans here in Birmingham and throughout the South is a critical piece of this that is what drives the whole effort. But in that struggle there were casualties, as the 16th Street bombing obviously reveals, and we have to think about how we address the casualties of events of violence, of terrorism, of acts of that kind. And what's happened in the last 50 years since the bombing is that we have, I think, really begun to think a lot more about how trauma impacts on people, and a little bit about how the path out of that trauma can be constructed. So I guess a briefer answer to your question would be, in 1963, when this bombing occurred, we really didn't think a whole lot about trauma and what happened to the families and the communities here and to the movement itself or to the nation. Nowadays, I think we would.
So people still are healing now, or probably need to heal from 50 years ago. Do you believe that programs like the ones that we just experienced tonight may be able to help, remedy?
It's a good question. The people who were most immediately impacted by this, the families who lost their daughters, the communities that had to witness that and had to be lost their neighbor or their schoolmate or whatever. It's hard to know after 50 years what kinds of things would be meaningful and useful to them. I guess all we can do is say that at least now we're paying attention to it. I bet you in 1963 there wasn't a single conversation about the mental health effect of this, or how it would play out over the next 5 years to 10 years to 20 years of the lives of the people who were impacted by it. Let's hope that late is better than never.
Exactly. Great point. Well, thank you.
Okay.
I'm Vabren, and this is Psychiatric News, live from Birmingham.